Very pleased to have on Vincenzo Landino and Liz Landow. And as I said to you, it sounds like a law firm from Wallingford. You have started something, co-founded something called HUBCAP. Explain to me, it is community business education. How did this come together?
Well, really, it was when I moved into town. I'm originally from Northford, which is...
So you moved a little further away.
I moved the next town over. And I wanted to get involved in the town, and I looked up a Main Street program, and Liz Landau's name came up, Wallingford Center Incorporated. Walked into her office, and I said,
and
hey,
you said what to Liz? Hi, I'm new to town. We should connect education, community, and business.
Not quite, not at first. It was, I'm new to town and I really want to get involved in the town. And what Wallingford Center is we are the Main Street program. We put on the festivals, we promote businesses for the downtown area. So we started talking, and then I just happened to say, you know, I've heard of these new incubator businesses and things, and his eyes lit up, and he said, that's what I want to do here. And I said, you know, you take an empty storefront, and it fills up the storefront, and then we can, you know, bring in incubator, you know, early starting businesses, and they can start up, and then we can get them to the point where they can move on and open up their own business. And he loved that idea, so we started talking, and I called the person that runs the economic development in town, and he liked the idea, and he said, you bring your people
What's not
up
to
and my
like?
people.
Because this makes, as you say, hub for the community, because we all know about empty storefronts. We all know how daunting it is to have a bricks and mortar. We want to bring new business to town. We want to get the young kids to stay in the state of Connecticut, so that's where you're hooking into high school. So you come together, and how long a period of time does this take to get HUBCAP moving in Wallingford?
It's been...
July was our initial idea, and he had this idea years ago when he was in college, so he was happy to be able to expedite
finally get it going.
Yeah.
I mean, never really... It wanted to do it in a community that really, it would make a difference, and not somewhere where it could get lost in, you know, with a lot of other businesses that were already going on. And Wallingford was really, I think, and it was ripe for the picking.
Well, main streets, I think we have to take care of building our main streets in this town. New England, especially in Connecticut, is 169 cities and towns. Many of them all have main streets, and I think we have to be very mindful of taking care of that. You sent some pictures over, Vincenzo, that we're going to take a look at what HUBCAP really looks like. There's an interior, of course, there's an office space, and there's an exterior of the building. How did you identify the building? Because it's an historic building.
Yes.
What was it?
Liz could speak more to that, being from Wallingford.
We wanted to be on Center Street, and we wanted to be in a viable part of town, and it happened to be that was an empty storefront. We went in there, and it fit the square footage that we wanted. It was in the location that we wanted. We are also incorporating the education factor, so it was close to the high schools as well, and transporting the students. So everything just really fell together perfectly.
How big a square foot do you have?
It's 2,800 square feet, I believe.
And what's inside of it?
We have, Wallingford Center has its office. We have a full conference room. We have a full area that will very soon also have a cafe, which will be run by the students. And we have 3 incubator spots.
What's your model for this? There are some other places around the state of Connecticut. There's the Grove in New Haven that I can think of off the top of my head. What did you use as a model to set this up for Wallingford?
Well, really, the Grove was a big inspiration, co-working, collaboration, ideas, and there was really no better model to follow than the Grove. There's always things going on, and that's what was one of the first conversations Liz and I had, was that we wanted it to be somewhat like the Grove. However, we had other
Things we
aspects
wanted to
in town.
incorporate.
Like?
And the education
Right.
factor. So we have the community factor, which is Wallingford Center is there, and we have the business factor, bringing in the incubator businesses, and Vincenzo's been very strong on that part. And then we wanted to work in the education factor. That's where we get the CAP part of the HUBCAP, because by 2018, all students, when they graduate, will have to do a capstone project, meaning that they will have to combine real-world experience with their studies.
Which is terrific.
Which is wonderful.
That's a life skill, right?
So this is a facility that they can do that. They can come and they can be mentored by some of the businesses. They can also, they're going to run the student-run cafe. So they're going to get that on-hands practice.
You were telling me something about the Wallingford cookie. Tell
Yes.
me about the Wallingford cookie, and what is that? And was it born at HUBCAP?
It wasn't born at HUBCAP, no, but the Wallingford cookie, we're very fortunate in one of our high schools to have a student-run restaurant.
Which is just awesome.
Which is
Awesome.
fantastic. And we also have a food truck that they will be
First in the state, run by
first
a
in the state,
high
I
school?
do believe, and that will be out in the summer.
Tell me more about that.
That is, it's a wonderful thing. It's going to have an herb garden on the top. It's all healthy cooking, and it's totally run by the students. It will be.
What's HUBCAP's part in all of this? Just combining students
Tying
with
it all
business?
together. Exactly, tying it all together. And going back to the cookie, the students that are running the restaurant designed this cookie, and it's all to the health standards that has to be approved by the school system. And we actually had one on the way down here. It was delicious.
And you didn't share.
I'm sorry.
Should roast more.
So what kind of a truck is this? Does it look like a school bus? Does it look like, what does it look like?
It was a van, and it's been adapted, and it has the thing where it's regular. It looks like a
So
regular.
we'll see
food
this
truck.
running around in Wallingford
will.
only?
In Wallingford.
Are we going to go elsewhere?
We don't know yet.
That I don't know, but
Okay.
I know you will be seeing it. It's actually very cool looking. It's wrapped with fruits and vegetables around
I
it.
love
and,
this idea. Who comes to HUBCAP? Let's say somebody can't afford bricks and mortar in the town of Wallingford, or they start a home business.
Right.
This is for them, is that correct?
This would ideally be a space for the startup, the small business
So you
owner.
rent?
Absolutely, yeah, but it's more than just renting an office space. There's collaboration, there's idea sharing, there's a lot of open space at the HUBCAP, as you'll see in some of the photos, or people can sit at a table somewhat like this where they
The
can
kitchen
talk,
table.
the kitchen table, and they can talk and they can have a coffee and they can really collaborate ideas. So you may be working with an architect and a marketing person in the same room. They may not have anything in common other than some idea that they may take and move to something else. Much like what happened with Liz and I, where we just had a conversation and a similar idea.
It's all about the conversation, and we're so busy texting now, we're not having these conversations across
Exactly.
the kitchen table,
Right.
which are so important. Tell me, and I hope that we do have the picture so we can show folks what this looks like. Tell me what successes you've already had, because and here we're looking at the exterior of what is HUBCAP now, and this is the historic building that
This
we
is the
talked
building.
about.
So what really drew me to the building was that the depth of the building. It's actually the deepest building in the center of town, as far as I know. And so it's very deceiving. The storefront is actually smaller than how deep it is. There was
I
an
see.
addition years ago in the back, and you can actually see it. where
And
I think
this is
there's a
the
picture of-
interior.
That's
yeah.
the interior.
So there's some coffee tables, high tops.
Coffee's important.
Coffee's very important. There is complimentary coffee at the HUBCAP.
And there's one more picture, and
Yep.
this is of a...
This is our conference room.
Yeah.
This is actually in the back of the building, the addition of the building where that deception of depth comes into play. And this is so key, the conference room. We really want the community to come in and use the conference room for anything from nonprofits to,
Did the town
municipality.
embrace this? Were they saying, we're in on this, we're going to cut the ribbon?
One of the most important things is the community all came together because everything was donated, from the paint on the walls.
Everything
was donated.
And did you all paint it together as a town? What
different organizations, different companies all pitched in, and they all helped out, and we had lighting donated, we had everything in there, all the technology, everything was donated.
Are you shocked that more towns are not doing this?
I'm shocked that more towns aren't embracing the idea of utilizing the education system that's right there in town. A lot of, we are the first incubator, as far as I know, in the entire country. We are an NBIA certified and CBIN certified, so we are in the network. And we're the first, as far as I know, to include the high schools, or the public schools for that matter. To me, it's really about the next generation of entrepreneurs. It's about those upcoming, the future of our towns, because without them, we don't know what it's going to be like.
no,
So we
and
need
they
to train them.
And we need to train them,
Yeah.
and we need to say, hey, you know what? It's okay to stay in Connecticut. It's a
Right.
great state. We can help you grow a business. Think of an idea. Maybe we can support it financially. Biggest obstacle that you guys came up against when you tried to set this up? What was the toughest thing, just to get the elevator speech going and get this off the ground?
Yeah, I think really our biggest obstacle was trying to take this brand new concept and explain it to people.
Yeah.
People have heard of incubators, people have heard of internship, for lack of a better word, programs, and how are we bringing them together? A lot of pushback that we got originally when the idea first came up was, how are you taking high school students or students that are in the public schools, and how are you going to have them benefit from these businesses in your space? So that was really an eye-opener for us. We really had to adjust our approach, and we still, it's every day is an adjustment, but that's the beauty of it. It's every day is a learning curve.
You cut the ribbon when? What month?
February 20th.
All right, that's 2014. Give me the 5-year plan. What do you hope to be doing in the next 5 years? Or don't you know? And that's okay.
5.0. We want to expand on it. We
I would love for
hope
this to
that,
expand.
we'd love to see it grow and see the concept grow.
So if somebody
Absolutely.
loves this idea and they're in North Haven or they're in Litchfield, they should come to you guys and go, what'd you do? How'd you do it?
Absolutely, totally. I'm open to it. I know Liz is open to it.
And we had a unique experience because we all brought somebody else to the table, and everyone just did what their area of expertise was, and it just was very smooth sailing. It was just a wonderful experience. All these different people in the town all stepped up to the plate.
And that's what you got to do. My hat's off to both of you for getting this going, and I look for great successes. Liz and Vincenzo, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you,
and
Ann.
Thank you very
I wish
much,
you the
Ann.
best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.